you up here. Might be a good place, might not. Check the Wi-Fi. So we'll just give it a minute, see if any scribes pick up on the notifications. I'll close the door so the neighbours don't hear good afternoon, good day, salutations. The nature of this video is to involve the universe, the potentiality consciousness, put my teeth in. I would like to say the beast system, yes, the broken. It's from a new film. First name Mr., second name Glass. Hilarious. Much like the superheroes in that Hollywood blockbuster. I would like to reach out to all of the heroes. Be your own hero, Bosch, of the scribing family. The premise is this: we would like to put a call out to the universe via this private request on a public channel and say food, energy and mental health, the three, you know, the food, what we have, how we get it, what we eat, where it comes from, import, export, self-sustaining and locally produced. The second one, you know, is just as important. We've got areas of science, we've got areas of technology, energy and mineral wealth. Yeah, we've got a lot to propose. So in line with the broken masses encountering the beast system, the mother of all benefits, you know, if you like, we're just gonna, I've had a chat with Josh today and Andy. I've yet to touch base with brother Kev and G-Star, but I've just come back and my laptop has shut down. Serious fatal error encountered yet again. A handset's blown. Quite annoyed to say the least. Accounts are trying to be compromised. If it was anybody with any bollocks, they would have already compromised. So it's somebody, some entity, organisation is attacking me, my accounts, my hardware, media interface device, and I refuse to get angry. And we would like to put a call out for communities that have land, alpha courses, things like this, so private land, and we would trade and give back in the way of I don't know, we'd put time and effort into the land, we'd manage the land, we would utilise the land, and we would benefit from the land. Meetings and seminars initially, temporary, you know, structures created, food, organic food growing, fruits, so forth and so on, and then seminars holding, storage, parking, energy. The beast system has its way. We're working towards getting our land, put it like that, and our entitlements, our rights are being reserved as we speak. And in the meantime, in the interim period, you let us use your land, we will return it tenfold, and we would have those kind of things going. And those that don't know or would like to get into it in the community would then come in, and then we would freely give all of the knowledge, information, hold seminars. We would be based there locally. I want to come out of the tradesmanship. I'm fast, you know, I've just had a shower and I'm still covered in paint. It's not funny, it's a dirty job. Like I was talking to Josh about expanding America, land, everything like that. The ministry of Andy, what? Imagine that. Yes, lots is going off in the background and we're planning for the future. So I will say that myself and Josh will be doing a presentation in a couple of weeks. It's postponed now due to timing, and myself and the Queen and Princess going to scatter the late father's ashes. And in the meantime, I'd like to do this quick video and say we are looking to get on road and visit, invest our time, knowledge, money, and what we know so far set up local produce and look at land asset management, things like this. When we say asset, we're talking blood as well as the acreage there. And yeah, you'll get the benefits of Josh, Andy, Kevin, the SPO's Famalan, the ethos, ethics there. And then, like I say, we'd invest on the land, energy, lots of cutting edge energy that's not actually in mainstream. So you'd be privy to other such non-publicised mainstream generation methods involving copper and magnets, would you less, the dielectric, hydrogen and oxygen, new periodic elements that you know are kept from you, and so you know everything is on the table, private. And this would be Scotland, Edinburgh, Dundee and Glasgow, the three major, for the points raised before in previous videos. Ireland, all of Ireland, north and south, east and west, the news, the entire all, England, and then Wales. We'll look at the international expansion once we get sorted out. So there's a few little admin jobs for me to do that I can do on a backup laptop and my handset for now. I'm quite annoyed, to say the least, at certain things going off, but I have to now involve the universe, the thought potentiality, consciousness, and the actual get back for us is to put it out there. That's how man finds. You have to request, you have to ask, you have to seek, and ye shall find. So it's a two-way street as always, and there's a lot of benefits for everybody. So in this case, everybody would win, and we would look to set community modules, you know, alpha courses of some kind for going forward, and community local point of contact, and then networking from those communities, going to the .com and the appointed steering wheel committee, ambassadors, emissaries, diplomats, things like that we're going to become and install and run everything through. So I think that's a good idea. Anybody's got any negative points, I'd like to hear it. Praise and grumble. Pass this around, share this video, and we will see where we can we'll get a map out, and we'll see what locations and areas and sizes we can find, and then Andy, the fam, to some extent, I think me and Andy definitely. Kev has got his own issues at the minute, so travel might be a problem. G-Star's quite well located and got other things running, so that would be me, Andy and Josh. We're looking to get on the road and visit, you know, tents, wagons, campers, nights, a couple of nights, fires, private arrangements, as I've said and outlined, for those reasons, and then slowly encompassing to as many communities, like I'd like to say, for as many fast food joints there is scattered around, I'd like to have that many comparable mini satellite hubs for man to come and frequent. So for every red and yellow fast food joint, or green, white and yellow with the arrow, or the red and white with the chicken in the bun, and oh wow, yeah, you see what I mean. There's plenty of places to go to get high, to you know, to go out there, and everything's provided except the essential we're missing, which is something for ourselves. So we'll incorporate the established communities on the .com, and we'll provide a network and a pathway. I did ring Jay yesterday after the video, up north with Sister Nonna and Snafu, so we are getting like a nice geographical England and Wales island picture of where our viewers, scribes, sovereign family are. And so we'll continue to you know, expand and elaborate on this as we go. It's just another one of the many things that we've got going simultaneously. Not that we need that many projects and assignments, but it's something for you, and it's something that we can then feed back to you with, and monitor it and keep in closer touch once the digital networks apparently shut down in possibly what is known as the celestial alignment of the ages. There's a lot of stuff going off on YouTube about the system, the time, the planetary alignment, electromagnetic, the suns, where we are, what we're at, orbits of I know what you know, that I know, you know, and you know I know. So we won't elaborate on all of that stuff, but it's a lot of alarm bells ringing all over. We're staying calm, we're focusing, and we're aware of the potential. We know what the priorities are, and we're keeping abreast on all of that. But essentially, locking down your communities, getting the right knowledge. The corrupted knowledge is to be erased. You're going to format like I'm doing now on the hard drive yet again, and we continue on. So we are developing systems of our own systems, reliable, self-governing, self-sustaining, in line with nature, harmonics, resonance. And if you want to stay in this crazy chemical, alchemic, mixed up, backwards, legal slaughterhouse of death, aka the Club of Rome, then you're welcome to do so. We do no longer see the benefits. And as for licensing and the facade that's going off at the moment, it is nothing but that. So we'd like to establish this as soon as possible, along with then the weekly health and wealth. We'd then travel around different communities, setting up, staying there. You can come to us physically, have treatment, see Josh, see Andy, see myself. 2-3 days, establish that, get a nice bit of fruit, plants, organic systems going, solar panels, hydrogen generation, and more yet to come that we're not going to blurt out over the casting on the commercial sea here. But rest assured, we have got a shitload of devices, technology, ways, fractionalize imploded water, some cherry tomato plants claiming to have grown 100, 1,000, 10,000 tomatoes the sizes of baseball with new water technology involving magnets and monopoles. It's very incredible. So we've a lot to give. We don't need to prove that. What we're looking for now is the universe to now provide the necessary kickback from this request. I'm very excited to see what might come, and who would like to house the three kings, Josh, Andy and David, primarily in the blue bus, coming with vans and arranging to privately advertise it, not be coming on a YouTube video and telling everybody. It will be done privately, and you will need to we'll issue it, so the security and control. But yes, we will invite anybody that wants to come can come, and we will issue the the further details when we get this. So the summer is upon us. We're aware of the year and the time and the urgency and what may happen, and the treason dismay and the Jeremy Red Robin antics. They're not going to save us. The system won't save us. The system and the backstops and the presidents and so forth and so on are looking after the combatants and the federal bankers, the reserve bankers. The City of London ultimately controls the whole of the world, alongside the Federal Reserve over in America, 1913, deeds, mortgages, credit creation. We've been lied to. We've not got no remedy to come from these abusers and psychopathic liars. So what we have to do is safeguard ourselves. I have a lot of work to do that I'm looking forward to catching up with whilst I'm on break, Friday the 12th to Friday the 19th. There's nothing urgent and outstanding. That is, I'm tying everything up as we speak and making sure I get in touch with everybody, and everything will be in place. I can do chats and emails and messages and whatever on the .com as well from anywhere in the world, as long as there's internet. So there will be updates, sparse, sporadic, but you'll get some. And what else was there to update you on? Yeah, it does work. That film, first name Mr., last name Glass. First name, no name. I have a calling. There is no name. Sorry, I don't have a name. I am not a name. How can I be a name? First name is a calling. That calling is Indigo, David, DJ, Crazy Horse, Shag. It depends where I am to what you call me there. Last name, surname, no surname, it's of the house of. So David of the house sovereign. Yes, we have a house of family, a sovereign trust, a sovereign family, a sovereign house. This isn't a gimmick, a branding, or anything like that. It's just the way that it simply is. Self-governing, men of the realm, children of the creator, under one movement, all creeds, all abilities, and all options looked at for the Occam's razor principality to be applied alongside with what we went through yesterday. I'm looking forward to getting on the road, getting a van. It looks like yes, a packed 2019. I haven't even started yet, but with regards to seminar and event, we have one planned, and Josh has locked down some fields, locations, all above board, nothing dodgy, and it will be comparable to last year if we get stealth bombers and Lancasters and such things again, Euro fighters overhead doing a display. I will be truly amazed. That's what we had in Oxford last year, so bear with us. There'll be updates on that, and I'll do that over the next 2 weeks. Emails, getting up to date with David at splspro.com. I'm about 40 to read. I was ill yesterday, and yeah, I'm quite tired, so I'm doing the best I can. All right, and I'll be reading them, updating. I've had an email, very excited. I don't know, I can't breach anything. There's nothing to breach, but someone's joined.com, and they're quite a big name. So I've obviously in the back office, I was talking to G-Star. I went, why, have you seen this latest family member that's decided to come in? And he went, yes, I've seen that. And who's that then? And I explained who that member is. And I said, they've been in the game a long time. They have been in the game a long time. And they've done a lot of good work that I'd credit. So I will confirm or deny if we can talk about this. I'll ask them if they want to have a hangout. We've asked them, waiting for Michael's from the Great Mortgage Swindle. We'd like to get them on and have a hangout. I have emailed somebody about raconteurs, and there's a few more loose ends I need to chase up. I'm willing to go out and cast on other channels, be featured on. Maybe Andy wants to come, Kev, but initially those that have asked me, I will say yes, it's going to happen. Just everything in its place. So I'll work on more expansion, going out to more scribes, and this land and this agreement is the way forward. The communities starting locally, starting in the at home, and then building out with the correct protection and the correct direction, the correct instruments, the correct bearings, and as one. Be surprised that man's lived next to man for maybe 15-20 years. Doesn't hardly speak to thy neighbour. The neighbour principle. It's surprising where the neighbour, the good neighbour, and know thy neighbour, love thy neighbour. These simple, principles that we've forgotten, that are just standard for us. Especially down in busy cities, and where you're different cultures, and you got an English living next to a Polish, living next to an Indian, living next to an Italian, living next to and nobody. Everybody's, it's just, we've got to break this down, and it will start in the community. And I'd like to see such things as halls with food, for the homeless. These traffic lights, what they're doing there. The other, genuine homeless that we've seen camped out, that the system lets, the beast system allows man to suffer and die in the public, in front of the public, with nothing to come. Now that is wrong. When we say we're in sin, that's the kind of sin that we're in. The fact that man turns back on man, starving children, starving women, dropping bombs. It doesn't matter what legislation, what international covenant that man creates, and how many pens and how many fancy bits of print and bosts and stamps and glorifications and proclamations. Death and murder is death and murder. Oh, we've dropped a bomb on a hospital by mistake. Well, let's just stop everything. There comes a time where these lot need to be told, and when you've got the corporation running in line with banks and commerce and banks and parliaments and deals, and this is where we say, okay then, so it appears it's rotten from the top down, and we have to look at boycotting the system that we're all roped into with, you know, non-disclosure and deception. The Decepticons and the cubes and the circles and the triangles and the pyramids are very relevant. The hermetic principles of life are very relevant. Did enjoy that chat on Sun and Moon last night. I did fall asleep during that. Anybody that was on Sun and Moon last night, as I was mentioning the hermetic principles and listening to that that man's math and base 10 outlay, I fell asleep, but that was quite good. I see your comments. I'm interested to get your blessings and whatevers. I am that I am. Oi, Kev, I did ring you earlier. If you look, you got a missed call. Yes, John. All right, that explains that. I was in the flow and I couldn't let it go. Top Buzz, can't beat the system, go with the flow. If you're looking for the attitude, 1991, the Eclipse, Coventry, the memories. You just brought kitchen. Is it the fact that I am gabbing in the kitchen, or is it just the kitchen? Look at all that horrible products there. Stop looking at me products and listen. Thank you very much, Alex. Martin, hello. Harvey, can we not just get hundreds of people together and take over land, builders and crop? Yes, we can, Harvey. That's coming later down the line. Before man goes out and starts exercising one's rights, we would have to rebut the assumptions and presumptions that are out there, get protected, make sure you got a last will and testament, get your estate out of probate, put your shields of steel on, get your assets, management, everything protected behind you, know you know, where you're going, what you're doing, what rights, how to employ that. When questioned and stopped and coming against a barrier, I'm sorry, but that's not quite right here. We don't like that. We don't care for that sort. Are you local? No, you're not. Get out. Peasantry? Out. You know, so how would you tackle that? So we already have the crash course in assigning and claiming in certain bits and bobs. So when you have common land and you have a common hold, yeah, you have a leasehold, you have a freehold, you've got national trust, you've got national land, you've got national parks and certain things. So there are entitlements and there are common lands and there are mans with private that we can initially utilise and then start breaching. The communities need the strength. It's not about acquiring the land to make profit in a commercial public aspect. It's about getting around the nation, landmass, realm and setting up strength in the communities, offering it out to the communities to offer it back to us, for us to then go, well, you know, if you offer us something, we generally do it. We're on it. We're men of action. We walk the path. So we know the path. We'd like you to walk the path with us. So now we're going to start laying down some roads, some inroads to those lands, wherever they may be. Sure, there's a tune in this somewhere. And yeah, you are right. Liberation of public offices would come shortly after due to gross negligence, incompetence, mistrust, crimes against, failings and certain other, well, hundreds of other charges and claims and, you know, well, you get me. So that isn't bad, Harvey, but, you know, each to their own. If you was in the pioneering Wild West and you was a settler on your settlement, you know, then that's how it was. But the legal system, the you know, the commercial system, everything's got its stake and claim. So, except Palestine. Shh. Blessings to Eric, thank you. First name is noun, correct, John? Indeed it is. Good John, little John, bad John. John of the Middleton House. Greetings, Indy and fellow Sovs. It never happened. Thank you, Flat Earth Dude. Long time no see. Where have you been hiding? It has been a long time. Yep, was on there last night. It was good. It was. Somebody made me laugh where he says, shall I move on? And Scribe says, yes, move on, please. And then I read the comments later, just before falling asleep. And the Scribe said, I think it was Jason, somebody. I said, move on, not backwards. Yeah, it was a busy chat room. It was an interesting topic and man was very tired. So, yeah, it was good that, John. Bless Sun and Moon, SAMFU, as they're known, abbreviated. There we go. URC, synchronicity. Can't wait to be in the community and live in harmony with each other, help each other and learn and grow. Yes, it never happened. Neither can we. Just get some farming land, a wall,
all around it with roof and lights. Bosh. Yes, John, indeed. By far the hardest thing I've ever put my mind to, but I know it'll be worth it. Thanks for all the lessons of life, the Alpha course. Eric, you can continue on, but if you choose to, you can eat a banana, and you too can, sorry, but it's just Banana Man, Eric, Acacia Avenue, man, simple man, normal man, and the Taurus. I am fascinated by the magnets and copper and electric and what's coming out there, and the vortex math. I am by no means qualified in any kind of mechanics or sciences. I did get B's, and I took the hardest exams for science in my GCSEs, but that's by no means Stephen Hawking's or quantum mechanics or Nikola Tesla. But then again, I don't really think Tesla went to any universities, you know, and got his qualifications, as most of the presidents you will see and prime ministers are school dropouts, and then they become Bill Gates and so forth, you know. So what does that tell, man? If you drop out of the system, you do well. What? Now that's ironic, isn't it? Let's think about that. Presidents and prime ministers and CEOs of multi-billion-pound international corporations, and they dropped out of school, didn't take no exams, fam. What? You know, and here we are with all of this, billions and islands and preposterous. So just goes to show you, you make your own path, and you choose. You are, by your own choosing, self-initiates of the consciousness movement. Doesn't so much have a name. I would say self-governing and sovereign because of the definitions of such, and the descriptive, you know, the descriptions of our actions, how we are, and the covenants of the great book there and the stories within. I've got messages. Myself and Andy done a lot of decoding. Andy has become the grand master of the voice of reason, more so than I ever could imagine. So I'm extremely happy for that, brother. I love him to bits. I can't wait to see the ministry of Andy, or it might be all formal in the ministry of Andrew, but I'd like to see these communities setting up somewhere. There's got to be some field somewhere that are private, that aren't doing nothing, in England, Wales, Scotland. It's got to be. And then Ireland, across on a boat, no problem. You know, onto the SS Sovereign. I've got Hanlon in the family, English, Irish, Italian, Greek. So I am a quattro from RJ. We're all family, but you know, amongst the other lineage, what, you know, I can't imagine how much DNA could be mixed up in men. So I'd like to travel. Ireland, never been, not once. Scotland, never been, not once. Haven't seen this landmass. I've been trapped in the concrete jungle on the cement. You know, the concrete that's meant to be the sea, to represent the sea, in the seas of commerce, the cement. So with the current seas and the papal seas and the seas of poo now rising up to our necks, it's time for action. We are willing to get on the road. We do need to make some donations and, you know, get it so it's going to bake something for the trust. So we're not busy fools, yeah? We're not making a business out of it. But we've got a lot to offer. We need this land. We need to do educational lessons that aren't on media and on the .com. There's nothing better than going out and having hands-on experience and traveling in a private capacity to come out and yeah, I don't know, like traveling education, and we would go to wherever there is a place for us. So if you've got yeah, a field, some land, maybe property, but the property, you know, is going to be marauded on by sovereigns initially, or you're going to be the host. Yeah, if you've got a big access and you'd like to donate and sponsor, any kind of sponsorship for SPOspro.com, he says, whilst rocking in the kitchen. Wow, it's all casual and informal, but yeah, sponsorship, we would like to consider that, and you could have stuff on the .com, as we are expanding, we are getting bigger. We'd like to advertise on there, but not commercially via Google bots and the dirty little AI and algorithms that come on. So we're not having remuneration for services through corporate public advertising on the .com, because it's private, and it's private donations pays for that. So we don't need to outlay like the TV license do and try to make man pay for that bullshit. So pardon my French. Sponsorship on the .com. on our branding, clothing, label there, on publications, and we would then use that for our own, like that previous scribe said, and we would get our own in amongst moving towards remedy, universal non-sectarian remedy for all, and we would be declaring all of the world's resources our common heritage again. That would be the wealth and the mineral resources. We have the sun, which is a great immense power. We have wind and water, but yet we're raping and pillaging the earth and committing lots of poisonous acts here. There is great speeches that I'm going to upload over the next week or two, of which is from my history, that if you haven't been on to the main page and seen the latest uploads, I'm extremely proud of those videos. The actual authors of them, Sky is one of them that's done an investigation. The BEA is another one that's done an investigation. You see, the BEA are also good for the panorama, killed by my debt. You see, they get out their karmic retribution by having to donate and do some good whilst they're doing bad. And that allows it to continue in the great cycle, the great phi cycle of the realm. So yeah, sponsorship, endorsement, anything like that is a possibility as well. Is there anything else before we go at 10 to 6? There probably is, but it can wait. It can wait. You got to, it never happened. John, I read that. Eric, yeah. Blessing all. Have you heard of Andrew K. Fletcher day about the inclined bed health benefit stuff? Day about the inclined bed health? No, I haven't. I can't just understand that. So, news to me, brother Andrew. Title 3.1 USC 3128. Proof of death is all that is required to substantiate payment from the Federal Reserve structure. Proof of death, civil death. You can have a civil death, you know, that doesn't mean man dies, but you die civilly. So, book, I'll book you with its words. Yes, John. Keep it going, bro. Your positive energy can inspire other woe man on this dome. It has done, and yeah, look at that. And we will eventually break the glass ceiling. Yes, Docker. Good to see you. How's tricks? How's life? Is man okay? AD in Sheffield needs a nudge. You don't speak to me. Got to see AD when you're watching this, because I know you will. All is good. Don't worry, brother. We all have a blowout now and again, and I'd like to speak to you. Man's get stressed all over, Docker. We're doing our best. We are looking at community for the interim. You know, protection and outlay, that makes sense. Charity starts at home, starts on your doorstep, starts with your neighbour. Anybody that's got land that isn't doing out, we like a temporary structure on there, a little hub, central station, teas, brews, you know what I mean, some campers, some vans, get a little seminar going, food, minerals, water, sciences, education, a local spot that isn't government, a local spot that's for man, on common land, on common hold, or on private land, and then on our own land once we get the Club of Rome administered correctly, and man goes from public commerce into private trade. Black equity cards are us. You mark these words, fam. And thank you, Docker, much love. Chin chin to Mickey Finn. I live an oh wow, that's my enemy word there. Let's go again. I live an unenumerated life. Got rid of my social security number 25 years ago. It wasn't yours to begin with. It was just an instrument you was allocated and assigned to use. We're back. 1 minute. Got incomings. Yeah, it's just a tool, it's just an instrument, so you can do what you want with it, but man must not be confused into what we've done is pointed out that we are sovereign self-governing man, and we have instruments. We are not to be under the full public commercial liability anymore, and there are instrumentations and ways of to non-legal tender and private remedy under certain acts and bills. So as I said before, God bless. and I'm only mean it in this way, the mother hooking, what's the word, elite there, Rothschilds, Bilderbergs, and etc. houses of, for still keeping these transfer by endorsements and bonds and certain bits, you know, hundreds of years old technology alive. They are trying to fast push for the digital crypto and certain things now. That's because they're creating money by, you know, as brother Richard Werner has pointed out to you all. See SPOspro.com homepages for those exclusive brand new news articles, stories, studies by professors on international media outlets discussing, you know, the mockery. Then see the Richard Werner on YouTube and look at his Southampton seminar, where he actually points out and says, when you go to the bank and you affix the signature to that agreement, you have created the money. The bank then take that credit and, you know, pretend that they've got it out the back, give it to you, present it to you and say, and there'll be some interest on that, and it's this, that, the other, and an SPV, and, you know, bish, bash, bosh. So not only have we been talking about this and trying to bring out in our own way and with the publications and the, you know, the .com and the videos and the hangouts, but we've got brother and Professor Richard of the House of Werner. I feel like I should have a trumpet when I say that name, and his study. So if you haven't already seen, wow, go to the home pages and follow those links for the Great Mortgage Swindle and RT interview. Professor and brother Richard of the House of Werner and his financial studies of the last 2 years. I think it was 15 to 17 maybe, and then his outlining and publications of that. I have other speakers to bring to you and YouTube videos that I'm going to link up when I get a minute. So it really is quite heinous to think that when they say that deposits aren't deposits and banks don't lend money, he's telling the truth. When he says credit, they're not fractional reserved either, these depository banks, not the repository, but your standard high street. They're not fractional reserve where it's the 10% managing, you know, and lending on that base reference unit. No, the economy is basically the elite creating the money, and the 5 central banks of City of London managing that on a worldwide realm basis. And then you've got the other side, the private side, which is the non-legal tender side, which is where man is getting confused. Legal tender is slavery, public commerce. Non-legal tender is your transfer by endorsement bills and promissory notes and whatnot. Yeah, so you've got your public and private to separate on that. A for V, accepted for value. You know, these are the differences in the areas. Grantor and settlor. You know, this is how we would see the top position, beneficiary and trustee. So agreements are all from trust. They are not contracts because they are an agreement. An agreement is when you sign a constructed body of words or agreement, text, which is comparable to a contract, but a contract must have 2 signatures and a meeting of the minds. The temples must meet, possibly 2 men's signatures, and it goes that way. So contracts in contract law are quite deceiving in some ways, because they're not strictly contracts and they've been disguised as agreements, which is comparable to the remedy of equity being hidden in the common law, where they're running parallel. You've got a common law construct there of the CPR, and inside the CPR, wow, you've got the part 7, part 8, which refers to equitable remedies. So shame on all of man for not hitting that. Those are the systems books, and the free man wouldn't really go to the systems white and green books and publications and trust publications, because they're the systems. But the indigos and the light workers and the crystals and the rainbows, we do that because we're like, well, what's that? What are you using? How do you get away with that? Why is that happening there? And how did Tony Blair make all that money? And why hasn't he lost that? And why? So we have a look. How do you take down a corrupt system? Find out what the system is, what it's built on. The common law fundamental foundation is good, is strong, but then they've built on top, like when they have wars and armies, they, you know, the armies will knock down the temple that is of the previous tribe, because they were tribesmen, and they will build their own temple, much like the Vatican is built upon. You know, go and do your research and you'll find out in Italy where the Vatican is built upon. Capitol hills, graveyards and temples. Look at all of the megalithic blocks and buildings around, hundreds of thousands of years old. Man's built on top of the previous predecessors, top spots, ley lines, temples, cathedrals, churches, and hence and so forth and so on. So this is what happens. Common law is the basic fundamental good that we had, and over time and through ignorance and non-disclosure, where we say fraud, yeah, it is fraud and it is wrong, but it is also out there in many realms for us to find, and it is, the language is constructed in such a way, if you did have the education and the consciousness, it would become apparent upon reading that with the correct education. But removing the etymology and the debasing the language and giving us the same educational defunct arbitrary, you know, experience there, because they mixed up the brown darker skinned brothers and sisters with the white skin, and they couldn't have all these systems separate for the different colours because we were all free and equal, allegedly. So what they did is they went and they controlled it that way, and we all suffered together. So the few at the top are the ones with the control and make the laws that are immune to it. Like another example would be banking and the bankers that are outside of the law. How can you be outside? How can any man? I dare you. You know, there's a saying here, juris corpus. I implore you, Tube, go and look up juris, J-U-R-I-S, corpus, as in the corpus, as in habeas corpus, as in the corpus of Jebus, the man Christ, yes? Juris corpus. And the way that they have this this immunity, well, I don't see it as that. Who granted it that? Why have you got that? How do you get so much power that you cannot be touched by the law? Who do you think you are? You know, it's almost as bad as coming out the paper proclamation going, I own the world, I own all the land, and I own all the souls. Anyone got a problem? Come and see me. I'm off. Who does that? Who does that? You know who does that, and you know why. It doesn't make it right, though, so there you go. I fear for my way of life. I am cash only, and they are making it. Yes, well, the new RC, that's right. We see this. That's exactly what they're doing. They don't like the liquidity in the ocean, and they want the blockchain to manage it. Search in time with Justin Timberlake. That's a scary little proposal there. All money is created from debt. Mad Pie Man. Right, money is backed by something of intrinsic value, which would be gold. Yes, credit is created in a different way, which is what the banks do and what the creation exposed by brother Richard Werner of the House of Werner, as we now call him. I'm more than proficiently fluent with credit, money, control, debt, slavery, insolvency, and all of that. And I'm glad to see that you lot are cottoning on. But money is not created from debt, because that would be credit that is created from debt, because we're all, as of the insolvency, bankruptcy, gold insolvent, 1931, 3109. Interesting. Yes, in that way, there is no credit. We're all broken. Everybody's bankrupt. There is no money and me. There is credit. There is only credit creation, not fractionalized banking. We have our promise to pay, and that's simply it. Yeah, debt. Those notes on the wallet that you get, I've got a serial number on, because the debt note. Last night we sidetracked on money. He said a word and I said cursive, curse for the person, and then we went into money on that man's chat, and we got to be careful not to do that. It's very rude coming to someone else's hangout, and then it was by accident, and it was hilarious, but I had to just on purposely, when we were talking about etymology and pardon me, we're trying to look at the cursor. Brilliant. Ask them what a deposit is. My bank can't tell me. VSR. Oh, excellent. You've been on it. Well done, Mickey. My dictionary soul has trademark different to first names now. Lev, easy brother. All money is created through the birth certificate. And Lucifer, easy Jesus. Jones is in the house. Bernice. Hi Indy, and all good souls. I'm trying so hard to learn. Stop trying so hard, relax, and go with the flow, as we said right earlier on with the Top Bus rendition from 91. You just go with the flow. It's divine. You have the essence of the whatever, almighty, creator, spirit, consciousness, universe, Elohim, Ra, big G, etc. So you will find, Bernice, that you all have an area of expertise, a strong point and a weak point. We all get lost, we all get confused, and every day is indeed a day to learn. Yes, John's greetings, Bernice. So we got text to exist. Nice one, John. Andy, yes, about the Pope. How is Andy? Eye of Creator is good. He's all right. I spoke to him earlier on. I believe there's a crowdfunder going through Able, Danger, and Field and the family there. So respect to them for that. They're looking after him. The trust has been expanded. And yeah, it's truly touching to see. So we are looking after each other, and we've just increased the family by several thousand with regards to the views that brother Andy has got, the exposure, and to some extent our channel and the .com. So things are looking up, things are moving very, very fast, and he's very good, he's strong. Mickey Finsold. Principle, does it equal God? The principle, no, nothing equals God. Grantor of dominion, principle. Trick question, Jonesy, I'm tired. Don't do that to me. Principle, you are the principality of it. So where we used to say before, I demand to see your oath, I don't have an international treaty, and I am not the surety for this debt. Well, we are equally the principality and the principle and the surety. The surety is the debt, the principle is the creator creditor. So creator, creditor, God, creator, trick question. Jonesy, respect to you. If that wasn't a trick question, then I've just got that kind of a mind now where I have to be careful and balance and reflect and go, so many things come into one word. But yeah, I hope that that helps out. What are you going down there for? Principle. Yes, the principle. But then in trust, let me think on then, because we have the principal, trustee, vice, and executive, principals. Yeah, the principals, trustees, principal at a school, principal in debt. I'm sure there's more. Prince there as well. What else have we got in there? It's a bit like price, and I'm going to stop there. What's Mickey doing? You don't know. Thank you. Sending love and blessings. I've already donated, been following Able, Danger and Field for nearly 8 years. So see what I mean? We've expanded. You found us. Hopefully you'll find some use out of it, or even indeed the .com. And 8 years. Wow, it is a long time. You are devoted. Kudos to you, Bernice. Jesus. Principal. Prince. Wow, that's gone upside down, back L. Look at that, upside down and back to front E. What is this? What is this? Principal, and you've got the upside down, and no, it's just upside down, isn't it? E, and theology, Christian Science, another word for God. Oh yes, grantor of dominion, government ordnance department, God, big G, little G. It froze when you were talking, Rolex. I love you, Scribes. You are the best. Right, that's it, done. We need land, we need community action, we need to get on road. Max and Paddy on road. Come on. Imagine the fun. 24, I know not 24/7, no man could do that. I'd agree. Around about 12 hours casting per day, blasted out one day, coming to a town near you, and the development, setting up energy, sustainable, green, showing you hydrogen technology, colloidal silver water made with whole phone chargers, £20 bits of silver, distilled water, organic vegetables, let me go again, vortex water, which is then used with magnetics in a certain way, which are monopole, maybe then certain type of neodymium magnets, which is both negatives facing in, and they've got the circle option as well, where you have them in a, you get the ring magnets and you do it that way, negative to negative, put a washer in between them two grip to the washer. I've got loads of ideas, and it helps agriculture and farming, and also medicines, tinctures. Josh with his, wow, that publication that they're doing, him and Michelle, should be a sight for sore eyes, let me tell you. Remedies, organic, yeah, and having to cure ailments, diseases,
I don't know about saying cure, but we'll say at least initially it looks there is a private remedy there which would be comparable to a cure. I'm allowed to say the word cure, government, YouTube. I am not restricted in what I say. I would not claim to have cured anything that we're looking to cure. We're looking for remedy, cure, and maintenance on all levels. So that means in science, in health, in religion, and fundamentally all aspects of our lives and our blood's lives, our assets' lives going forward, because this perpetual system is only heading one way, and that's to make the elite rich, and to us have these chip and pin cards, and to bow at their every whim command when a Euro officer demands that you should do so, much reminisce to a Jedi power battle of the 80s brought to us by George Lucas. You know, it's Judge Dredd kind of scenario, or Demolition Man. Which one is it? Judge Dredd. Yes, and you know, Officer Comply, RoboCop. That was not just, you know, an idea. We've since seen the creation of RoboCop in DARPA and Google robots that are military weaponized and cannot be knocked down, with ultimate gyroscopes, GPS trackers, rockets, and see, well, and it's not nice. We don't need that. It shouldn't be made. You know, aliens coming down allegedly, all right, and swapping technology with the Air Force. What does that tell you? If anything, Linda Moulton Howe and everybody else out there, there's more than Linda, but she's mostly up on the recommendeds of late. So, aliens and Air Force and technology and weapons. Great. Who commissioned that? You know what I mean? I'm sure if we try hard enough and we set up several of these private communes, if there is shit like that going off and we're honourable enough, they'll come and see us. Give us some of the technology. Otherwise, we'll find out it's just a load of sidestep, you know, distraction, mud flood, Tartarian, Project Bluebeam, X, Y, and Z. You know, what's relevant, what's important, what matters now. That's where we're at. Yes, thank you. Buffering. Thank you, that Bernice. Right, lots of things, as Josh has pointed out, can be cured with the alkaline, and that would be your diet not being high in sugar. Lots of fungus and illnesses and mucuses and stuff like that through the dairy is caused mucus, sugary infection. So yeah, we found out quite a lot that the school should have told us there, to be fair. Yes, they do thrive in acidic bodies. More minerals: potassium, iodine, selenium, and magnesium. Aye, aye. Buffering. All right. They love to buff when truth is being told. Let's go. It's the end. Ciao, bello. Peace and love. Namaste. Arigato. Goodbye. Bonjour. And how you say it in Hungarian? Hello. I think God is on magic mushrooms and wear the magic shit at the end of it. High priestess. Yes, indeed. High priests. Even though turmeric in mash. Lots of love. Lots of thanks. Email David at spowspro.com. It will be maybe a week now before I get back to you. Maybe, if you're lucky, 3 days. If it's got an important subject header and it looks like urgent, and it will be within 24 hours. Going to go and do some admin now. We've had tea. It is now that time, Anglo GMT, which would be 6:10, just gone. Have a great evening. Stay sovereign, and hopefully we'll be travelling soon.